Hey everybody, it's Pete. How's it going today? Thank you so much for choosing to be with me. We're going to review the best stock picks for the trading game plan that we are making for Wednesday, the end of June, 2021. I forgot the day. Pretty good day of trading again today, as long as you are in the right stocks. The market was a little bit less than perfect today, and we're actually going to take a look at how that is translating into the market for Wednesday. We had the SPY ETF hit all-time highs again today, trade into what we call a melted candle. Not quite a full bearish reversal, but when we get into the sector rotation in just a minute, you're going to see why. I actually think we're going to see a little bit of profit taking in the market tomorrow, but I'm going to point out some pretty good setups. Stick around. I'll be right back. Okay, so as we do every day, we're going to look at the market, we're going to look at the sector rotation and how that plays into which trading ideas and which stocks we're going to be looking to buy. We have a couple of different ideas today. Some of them breakout, some of them pull back, some of them that had paused, and a couple that are a little bit extended. I'm going to show you one example of a trade that we call the Bullish-Echo, which is, again, if you go back to what we talked about yesterday, which was basically pick a side, then pick a spot. And a lot of people don't do both. So when you're looking at order flow, you're picking a side saying, where is the smart money doing something obvious? And how do I determine whether or not I should be getting involved right now, which is the second side, which is pick a spot. So pick a side, you're looking for the order flow. Pick a spot is right now the right time to accept risk. And I'm going to show you a trade that looks amazing. Had just the most amazing 3 days of trading, still going up. But I'm not going to be looking for a new swing trade in that tomorrow. That would actually meet the criteria for day trading, and I'm going to show you why we call that trade a bullish echo. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump on over into the charts and taking a look at the SPY ETF. Again, hit new all-time highs, keeps churning higher, but today it reversed. And if you really drill down and take a look at the hourly chart, a bunch of what we call melted candles, a lot of indecision. Now, lately we've been saying great bullish gap, everything looks awesome, but this time is a little bit different. This time they couldn't do what we call hold the bid. It wasn't able to stay up there, and I just want to address that for 1 second because we get a lot of good questions about trading terminology and good feedback. I welcome the feedback that sometimes I might, I'm from New York, maybe I talk a little bit too fast. If I do, I apologize, but that's a part of being passionate, right? So when we talk about they didn't hold the bid, if you can imagine that you have a hedge fund, and let's say that you have 1 million shares to buy, just using as an example, and you start buying, the stock starts to go up, and you're the reason it's going up. Now, normally what happens is the stock will go up and pull back a little bit, go up and pull back a little bit. Best case scenario, it goes up and goes sideways. So if it goes up and goes sideways, that means that they're holding the bid. It's not going down because there's new, fresh buying underneath there holding that bid up. So they're holding the bid by absorbing any selling, and it's going sideways. So what we would have liked to have seen in the SPY ETF today would have gone up on the bullish gap, which I believe is the fourth consecutive bullish gap on the chart. And we would have liked to have seen it held the bid, go sideways, and maybe even drift a little bit up. But it actually started to slide to the downside. That's the first sign of the big picture weakness that I'm seeing in the market right now. And again, we're up 7 days in a row. It's not a big deal if we get a little bit of profit taking. Oh, by the way, we're also going to show you the Home Depot swing trade that we called out 2 Sundays ago. It hit our initial profit target today. I want to walk you through the trade management on that. So getting back to the market and getting back into what the SPY is doing, not quite a perfect bearish reversal, but now if we dig a little bit deeper, and again, can't stress this enough, this is where you start to separate yourself from chart reading and start to become a trader. We now look a little bit deeper into what's supporting those all-time highs in the market, and it's really only one thing: technology. Technology stocks have been leading for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Hopefully, you're watching the videos every day. If you're not watching the videos every day, if you could please click down and subscribe, hit the alert button so that you get these kind of updates every single day, and also let me know that I'm providing the kind of content that you want to see. But more importantly, think of the market as all of these individual legs that are holding it up. And you hear me talk about it all the time, the stock market power pyramid. You have the general market, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and the Dow. And then above that are the sectors. Above that is the industry groups within the sectors. And then you just have individual stocks. The more of that foundation you have underneath your stock trading idea, the more conviction you have, maybe trade a little bit more share size, maybe hold it a little bit longer. The market's obvious right now, but we're a little bit beyond that optimal entry to the point now where even if it goes up, you still wouldn't be adding to a position up in that area, especially if it's a swing trade, right? So how does that translate into what we're watching now? If we talk about that power pyramid right now and look all the way to the right over here, and you see what was strong for the day, not much, not much. So we finally cracked a little bit where we stopped going up, maybe broke even a little bit after the bullish gap, but nothing supporting it. So the thing that we were talking about today in our private community, and if you want to find out about our community, please click down below and just find out about the next 30 days. What we were talking about today was that technology is holding the whole market up right now. Financials really aren't that strong, especially banks. The stress test is out of the way. Basic materials continue to get hit. Industrials continue to get hit. Energy stocks continue to get hit. So what's holding the market up right now? It's kind of like, it's like hanging by a thread right now, despite the fact that we're all-time highs. Now, does that mean that we are going to sell off and start a new downtrend? No, it just means that right now in this window that we're looking at, Tuesday into Wednesday, we're probably in the big picture in the market. We're probably going to get a little profit taking tomorrow. So that means that we need to just do a little bit more of a deep dive into individual trading ideas, which is where we're going to walk into now, which is taking a look at the charts and going straight into the first stock I was talking about before, which is JKS. Now, this is just amazing. Hopefully, again, you've been watching the channel. We talk about sector rotation. We've been all over the electric vehicle stocks. We've been talking about the solar stocks. And this is why you don't need a monster list. And by the way, hopefully you had a chance to watch the trading setup that the video that I just did this morning. If not, I'll put a post up over here so you can watch it. It's roughly 25 minutes, and it walks you through from start to finish, scanning to building a list of ideas, and then how do you take that list and go into the market and understand which ideas are the best ones to be in right now. You want to find out big picture, which ones have solid bullish order flow, and then which stocks are moving right now in that direction. So if you get a chance, I'll post the link up here. You can take a look at that. Well worth your time. And if you watch that video and have questions, absolutely leave a question about stock trading in that video. And I promise we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So JKS is what I want to talk about right now. And this is a situation where the stock has exploded. It's not a question which side it's on. It's not a question the earnings have seen by Wall Street as amazing. But now the stock has gotten to a point where stocks normally have a distance that they run, and this has far exceeded that distance. So picking the side in this case is obvious, right? We want to be long. Picking the spot in this case needs to translate, is this a day trade or a swing trade? So if we are looking to put on a new swing trade or hold it over the next, let's say 3 days to 10 days, just for argument's sake, if we buy it now, tomorrow, meaning Wednesday, what are the odds of that following through for the next 3 to 5 to 10 days based on what it just recently did? The odds are not great. Maybe you get one more day out of it, and then the stock pauses, takes a break before it gives us a chance to take off again. And that's why we call this trade the bullish echo. So it's bullish, not looking for a new swing trade. We're looking for that last little, maybe one more day of buying, get a good day trade out of it, let the stock pause, pull back a little bit, and then set up another trade, which is what we're going to talk about right now in space. SPCE, Virgin Galactic. Flew last couple of days. Great move. Again, simple technical analysis, hit resistance and found reversal. Big down day today. We actually talked about this in our pre-market meeting. Big down day. And now what? Now what? It's setting up what I believe and what I can't wait to trade tomorrow is what I'm going to call, and what we do call, a snapback trade. The snapback trade is essentially what we have as a strong stock that's going up, and now a little bit of profit taking comes in, and we get a down day. And then we get a second down day, and that second down day is vicious, closes on the lows, and now this particular stock, as you can see on the screen here, let me zoom that out just a little bit. You can see now it's actually at 2-day support, but I don't want that support to hold. Here's what I want to see happen. I want to see Virgin Galactic to open up at the lows tomorrow on Wednesday, push lower, and then reverse back up through that level, which is right around $46. So that's how you game plan for going into the next day and have an idea of how you want to trade the open before the open even starts. Working our way over into some semiconductor stocks, and thank you, Dilip, for pointing these out today. 4 semiconductor stocks, again, in that technology area that were strong today, broke out and continuing to show some solid order flow. And that list, so you have the list, is Xilinx is the first one. Let me zoom that out a little bit. XL and X, and you can see it just popped through that resistance level. Next, we're going to take a look at AMD. Next, we're going to take a look at Qualcomm. And finally, in this area, we're going to take a look at NVIDIA. Now, the point that I want to get across here is we just talked about bullish and the bullish-Echo. So you're looking at how far those stocks have gone recently. 3 out of those 4 have had a pretty good run over the last week and a half. NVIDIA is the one that paused. So out of that group, NVIDIA will be the one that will have most of my attention tomorrow. Moving on over to what I believe is probably my favorite setup heading into Wednesday. I have probably around 30 stocks on my list. I'm giving you the breakdown of some of the favorites going into the day. But before I give you my favorite trade of the day, I want to talk through Home Depot. If you remember the Home Depot trade that we took 2 Sundays ago, you can go and watch that video. We looked at this bullish U-turn where it spiked down, reversed, heavy volume. We said, okay, that's significant. Reading the tape, something changed that moved to the downside that was basically for the better part of almost 6 weeks. Reversed in that one day, not just the price action and the volume and where it closed that day. We had a 305 buy stop the next day. 320 is our initial profit target. We actually hit 320.30 today. But the main point that I want to get across, of course, obviously super excited. It was a $15 profit in just over a week and a half, right? More importantly, one of the top questions that we get is, what do I do when a stock that I'm in is pausing? How do I handle that? Do I get out because it's not moving anymore? Do I get out because it's not flying in my direction? And it really comes down to this. Has the idea changed? If the idea is still valid, you hang on to that trade and you sit for your next initial profit target. It's a big difference if you get a big red candle, starts moving against you. But if it pushes up, pauses, especially if it pauses on light volume, that's a natural function of the market. And if you think about what I just said at the beginning of the video, a push up and go sideways, that's holding the bid. Home Depot held the bid for 4 days, exploded out of that today with the bullish gap and traded right into our initial profit target. And you can see that here, 320 was the level, I believe, today. If you look up on the top here, 320.30 was the actual initial profit target. But this pause here is really what we were looking for. So we gapped, paused, pushed up into the profit target. Good trade management lesson there, because one of the biggest things I can impart to you, hopefully you gain these lessons throughout the stock picks as well, is what happens between entry and exit. That's where the magic happens. Managing the trades between entry and exit. We could all get in at the same exact spot. It's between entry and exit where, should I add to the trade? Should I scale out of the trade? Should I look for another spot to exit that trade and look for a new one? Having all this stuff scripted out is what makes trading a heck of a lot easier. The trade that I'm really excited about tomorrow, actually two, I'll give you two. I'll give you one. The first one is a swing trade that we put on about a week and a half ago, and that's D-Dog. Now, hopefully you can visualize everything that I'm talking about, where you see stocks push and then they take a break, and you can tell whether or not they pulled back or if they held the bid. D-Dog is holding the bid perfectly right now and just really setting up for a nice idea tomorrow. Probably going to look somewhere above 108, and I want to stick on that for just 1 second. I can't emphasize this enough because I get a lot of feedback on this in the comments below. You said you wanted to buy D-Dog tomorrow, and D-Dog went down. Okay, fine. But I'm telling you, before I even put the trade on, I'm looking for it to trade above 108. If it doesn't trade above 108, I'm not even going to be in the position. A lot of what I do is, especially when I'm swing trading, I want that stuff to be moving in my favor so it gains a little bit of momentum prior to hitting what I use as a buy stop order. And again, stopping a little bit here because somebody asked me to help explain the terminology. A buy stop means if the current price is, let's just say 50, and I want to buy when it goes up to 51 for whatever reason, maybe it's breaking a level or whatever it happens to be. The current price is 50 and I want to buy at 51. A buy stop order will be when it gets up to that price that I put in as the buy stop, that gets me into the trade. Then you have the difference between a buy stop limit order and a buy stop market order. And generally how fast it's moving or the liquidity of the stock will determine if you use a stop limit or a stop market. So D-Dog is actually one of the top ones. And the last one, I'm not going to show it on the chart, is DocuSign. DocuSign is actually pausing right now just in front of all-time highs. Interesting setup. Very, very interesting setup. So keep an eye on those setups tomorrow. And I think we're going to have a pretty interesting day. We got setups on both sides of the market today. Stuff we're looking to break out, stuff we're looking to trade lower and reverse. Looking for the market to see a little bit of profit taking tomorrow. I'd be a little surprised if we don't, because that sector rotation is not across the board. I don't know if there's any other way to say it. I might be surprised. If I am, great. We'll ride everything higher, a little bit more conviction. If not, we have a good mix of stuff. So again, that stock market power pyramid, the market looks like it's going to roll over. Sectors aren't really strong except for technology. Industry groups, we're looking at solar and electric vehicle stocks still, and semiconductor stocks. And then just above that are the individual setups that we just called out. So have an awesome, awesome day on Wednesday of trading. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, leave a comment below. Anything that's a challenge for you right now from a trading perspective, definitely let me know. And that's going to be part of our future videos. And if you haven't done so already, please click subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And you also get updates too. So have an awesome, awesome day. And I'll speak to you soon.